Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining me for another Joe Lock style Tai Chi and Qigong class. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually using a different camera. I'm using a different computer, and it has a different kind of lens. I'm still trying to work out how to do the setting so that you don't see all the furniture in our house. But until I've worked it out, please forgive um, the bits of brown that you can see at the edges. Okay, let's get started, please. Let's take right hand at a fist and left hand straight. Pull back the thumb, feet together, hands together, and let's press forwards. Lovely. Okay, so as I say, I'm still kind of getting to grips with my new setup. So let us jump straight into our Master Lock style class. So we're going to have a look at the 7 stars in rotations, Qigong, to start us off. Very useful if you have been off from your practice for a while, or if you haven't been very well. The 7 stars is a great place to start. It's a great place to start anyway, but I find it particularly useful. I recently took a bad fall, fell out of a window, or through a window, helping my neighbor get back into his house when he was locked out. And I'm finding this practice very, very useful for just helping all of the muscle groups to calm and find their place. So hopefully it'll be useful for you too. Let's start with shoulder width and level, and we lengthen up through the top of the head, bringing the chin slightly down and back, and release and relax down through your body. Calming down. And listening behind. We want the weight of the body to relax, to hang, but suspended from the top point of the head. You'll feel a kind of traction. And actually, my lower back just cracked there. It did a spontaneous reposition, which sometimes happens. So don't freak out, please, if you get these sort of automatic cracks that the body releases and repositions as you do this exercise. Wuji is not just waiting for something, it is actively aligning your body as you calm. Good, so let's go into our open door 5. We lengthen the fingers down and we scoop. Feel through to the back. Feeling up the back, over the shoulders, along the arms to fingertips. Turning palms, feel under the kidneys, deep breath. And releasing, relaxing down. Scoop. And turn, keep breathing. And press down and away. Now, some folks are very clicky. I'm very clicky. I've already had a click in my spine, in my shoulder, in my wrist. If you find that your body is clicking, that's okay. Don't panic. Just breathe and let go. It is aligning. It is adjusting. And sometimes it's just that the fluid between the joints is still warming. So we're just resting level with the waist, and we're going to go into our movement 2. First, we'll do our little roll forwards and back, filling and releasing the back. Excuse me. Good. And now remember to keep those hips steady, keep the hips square to the front as we turn in the waist. And you'll feel all the little structures inside your pelvic cavity having a little stretch, a little wake-up call. You can do this as fast or as slow as you like. After my fall, I was doing this very gently, very gingerly, just to feel for what was injured, where it was injured, how it was responding. But actually, it was already helping things to heal by just gently keeping things moving. Of course, I went to hospital and had x-rays just in case. All good, thankfully, as far as we can tell. Let's change direction. Interestingly, they don't x-ray the sacrum. They checked my ribs and my lumbar, but not the sacrum, because they said that even if it's broken, they treat it the same way. But doesn't feel broken, just very bruised. Good. All right. So let us turn the palms and we draw in, float up, expand, and at the higher level. Again, I want you to listen and feel into your body. Feel for the energy swirling around your arms, around your back. We're using all of our senses, but we're actually listening for our vitality. We're listening for that energy that is the thing that keeps us alive, but we can actually feel it if we listen for it. Let's change direction. And if you're going, I can't feel it, I can't feel it, don't worry. What can you feel? Listen and feel with all of your senses. Notice how your body is responding to the practice. Where is there tension? Where does it feel relaxed? Is there a feeling of stretch? Is there a feeling of release? Listen and feel with your senses. If you don't feel your energy already, that's okay. But the more you practice listening and feeling, the more likely it will be that you'll start to feel your actual energy flow. Let's take a nice deep breath and gather the energy into the forehead, point to the eyebrow corners, down the face and neck, and open. Point into the body, connect and feel at the level of your hands. Point around your feet, up the back of the legs, around the waist. Return to center. Let's check posture. And relax into your belly and breathe. Just take this time to return to your center, to relax, to loosen if there's any tension. Make sure those knees are now off the lock. Calming down. And again, please, nice deep breath, breathing in. Gather to your forehead, point to your eyebrow corners, point down your face and neck, open, point into your body, point around your feet, up the back of the legs, around the waist. Return to center. Checking posture. Relax. Now, using a mirror is very useful. And actually recording yourself is very useful. I often watch my recordings and go, oh, I'm out of a line. I'm out of alignment. Whereas when I'm looking at a reflection or even the screen, I may not actually notice it at the time. So it's a very useful practice. Just check in the mirror, or if you're brave, record yourself and then have a little look and see if your head is straight, your shoulders are level, your hips are level. Make sure everything looks balanced. Don't beat yourself up if you don't look balanced. Just see if you can gently guide your body to release into better alignment. All right, let's go again. One more time. Deep breath, gather. Drawing into the forehead, point to the eyebrow corners, down the face and neck, and open. Point, feel into your body. This is your lymphatic drainage movements. So it is quite intense. I notice this exercise makes me feel tired, especially if I'm getting over a bug. But it doesn't just drain me. It doesn't drain me. It just helps to drain the lymphatic fluids. So it will make you feel tired, perhaps, if you're recovering from something. But give it a few seconds and breathe and relax to center. And notice how your energy levels return. Good, so let's release and we do our little rolling of the ball. Little stomach spleen exercise. If you look at Chinese traditional medicine, you'll notice that they say that like 90% of the problems that we face with health are to do with the spleen energy not being balanced, and potentially in this kind of environment that we have in the West and in Britain in particular, there's a lot of damp. And so your damp can come into the body and it can cause all sorts of issues. One of the biggest ones being arthritis. So spleen exercises are particularly useful for helping to remedy an awful lot of these problems. And so if you look at Master Locke's practice, this practice, the 7-star, but also if you look at your Phoenix form, the first exercise he does is for stomach and spleen. This is it. This is called rotating heaven and earth. And if you do a little bit of this exercise every day, you will really help your spleen energy to come into balance. And if there is damp that has got into your system, it will help to address that. So this is a really good exercise. Do it every day. You don't have to do the whole form. You can just give your spleen and stomach a bit of help. Think of holding a ball, holding your dandian, if you like, and rotating it. And you will feel little tugging sensations inside your belly as you do the movement, as you're doing a rotation and a scoop. Tune in and feel into what's happening inside your body. Make sure it's at belly height. Good. So it's a lovely wee one for us to practice every day. We've done a bit more than we normally do, but I want you to really embrace this exercise to help. As I say, 90% of issues, according to Chinese medicine, originate in an imbalance for the stomach spleen energy. So by doing this exercise, we are addressing that issue and hopefully helping everything come into better balance. Lovely. Now I'd like you to turn to your front left I'm going to turn my back on you, so we're doing the same thing. And we're going to do our little choo-choo train movement, as I call it. So if I turn sideways on, you can see maybe a wee bit easier. I move back, there we go. So we should be to our front left. I've turned a bit further, and I just want you to feel your tailbone and roll the ball now between your hands and feel the energy in your tailbone rolling. And we're walking up the spine. So each time we do a double rotation, right and left, we go a little bit higher, and you will feel how that helps you to focus into the spine, that you're walking up the spine, a bit like a ladder. You're finding your way one rung at a time. You're breathing and relaxing, and you're feeling the mobilization in that level of your spine. Actually, just by feeling into the spine as you roll the hands, naturally that will focus the movement into that level of the spine. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just follow the guidelines, roll your hands by turning the waist, and feel into your spine at each level. Now, as we come close to the neck, we want to keep the chin down and lengthening the top of the head up so that we have plenty of space to walk up the vertebrae of the neck, the cervical vertebrae, and they're tiny, so the movement becomes smaller. Good, and now we're going to step to the side, flip the toes, flip the hands, come underneath the arm, along the line of the arm, there's a circle, and half step, guiding the hands gently and slowly down. Let's take the right hand under and stretch the ball out, turn it round, we go into the phoenix, squish and expand, fill your back, keep upright, release and step, squish it in and down and expand, up and over, relax, up and over. Remember, for 7-star, we do the same on both sides. And now we flip the toes to the corner and turn the waist. Let the arms swing around, look behind you and push your hands away. This is the snake. Feel that lovely stretch, keep breathing, release. Lasso the hands and flip the toes. Same on the other side. Look behind you and press your hands equally away from your body. Hands above feet. Good. Return to center. Cross the hands. Sit back and down as you stretch forwards and up. Hands above feet. Elbows above knees. Shoulders above hips. Fill your back for the turtle. Good. And release. Let's turn to the front left. Now we have our movement 5, the elements. We're going to step left, step through right, roll back, hug, and square up. Step right, step through left, block, step back and pierce, block, step back and pierce. Now the choo-choo train again, half step, stretch for the liver, big step, half step, stretch, we can do it again, half step, stretch, good, half step, stretch, and release, turning in, now for the heart, step, block, in front of heart, press, rise, and slide down, step left, block, in front of the heart, rise, slide down, block, rise, turn to the front and scoop, This is the earth element. Again, stomach and spleen. You can do as many as you like. Nice, big, round, full movements. And let's come in. Next, we have the 6 harmony. So we're going to begin again with the scoops. We're going to swing the arms down, turn on the heel, swing the arms up and step through. Keep turning and open. Left side. Turn back the way you came. Left arm up, step back and swing. Pivot on the heel, arms come up. Step the left foot through, open, right. We're going to keep turning to the right, step through for our martial flowers. Good. Listen and feel into your body. Notice what's happening and where. And if you have space, you can begin to walk, step across the arms, and step back. Turn. Let's do it without walking. Cross and turn. Cross and turn. Remember, all movement in Tai Chi comes from center. So you're not just swinging your arms around. You're turning your center, the arms follow. So then we can walk, step and cross, step and cross. You can go back, always crossing over the front leg, and finish. Take a breath. Good. If you need to, you can reposition for our last move, the 7 stars in rotation. So let's lengthen up through the top of the head, chin slightly down and back, and relax down. Take a few moments and calm. Press the fingers gently down, and we're going to scoop. Right hand under, left hand under, push the left heel out. Left hand stretches towards the center and step right. Now, I have a light fixing just above. That's perfect. I can point my fingers to the light fixing, and that's the center of the circle to help me make a good circle. 8 steps round. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn in and release. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and finish. Take a breath. Pointing to the floor. And a heel tap. Well done, everyone. We can release out of the stance, have a wee move around. And that has taken us just over half the class to go once through the form. Now, we have been looking at the all 3 of the Master Lock forms. So that's the 7 stars, the Phoenix, and the Immortals. Sometimes we go through all 3 in one class, but today I think we're just going to focus back to basics at the 7 stars in rotations Qigong. So let's do the whole form again, but this time we'll do it in silence so that you can concentrate, you can get into a flow and be more aware of what's happening internally. It's a bit like, I think it's a bit like reading music. If you have a teacher in front of you who's talking you through each step, you're more likely to be listening to the teacher, so you're kind of outsourcing your awareness, then bringing it back, the information back in, trying to work out what's being said and applying that. Whereas if once you put the sheet music aside and you just play, you're far more involved in the actual process. I assume, because I'm not a musician, but but this time we're going to do it in silence, and I just want you to follow along and see how you get on. As I say, if your body doesn't respond well to a particular movement or a particular action, you know to adjust to your needs. So that may mean leaving a turn out altogether, and that's absolutely fine. So just do what you can. If you get lost, no problem, stop and watch. Never beat yourself up. Even just turning up for class, even just switching on this video, you have a success. You have um, made an attempt. And that's all it takes. Tai Chi is not about practicing Tai Chi, and doing it well is not about being perfect. It's just about giving it a go. And every time you give it a go, you will improve, even if you don't notice. Okay, so let's give it a go, and we'll do our 7 stars in rotations. Once we start turning, I will turn my back on you so that we're doing the same thing as each other, and therefore hopefully it's less confusing. All right, shoulder width and level. We lengthen up, relax down, calming down. Find your fingers, press them down. And we begin. Very good. So that is our 7 stars in rotations Qigong. I think you did very well. You've given it a go, and hopefully you were listening and feeling and could start to feel more awareness of what was going on inside. Actually, that's the key. Tai Chi is mindfulness practice. Tai Chi and Qigong both are all about being present, listening, and feeling to what is happening here and now. So, regardless of what it is that you're feeling, the fact that you're listening, that is bringing you into the flow of Tai Chi. Good. Now, you may ask, how many times do you do a certain movement? And that's a jolly good question. And certainly when we're learning these things, we like everything to be laid out exactly so that we follow a menu. But actually, especially in Master Locke's work, you can do things more or less to meet your needs. So for example, this rotation for stomach and spleen, if you don't have a huge amount of time, you can just do a few little repetitions to help you come to center a bit more, to help to bring yourself to that start point. If you remember, we talked about the elements. So when we work on stomach and spleen, we're working on the earth element, which is all about centering. So not only this exercise is an earth exercise, actually any exercise that is bringing you into center is going to be classed as an earth exercise. So all of the different elements have different attributes. So for example, the lung exercises, lung and large intestinal exercises tend to expand and to compress to create more expansion. That's the expression involved in lungs. In the metal, metal is drawing in, I should say. I made a mistake, sorry. It's liver that has the expansive energy. Lungs actually is the reverse. It's drawing in. So anything that is drawing in a movement that is expressing the metal element. And let me see, water movements flow downwards. So anything that is flowing down or just generally feels watery, anything that feels watery, that's a kidney exercise, that's an energy that helps to fortify the kidneys and does tend to, at some stage, have a downward force. And fire goes up, so you'll see fire movements go up. So these movements in the 5 elements, the 5th exercise, exhibit the essence of the 5 elements. But actually all Tai Chi movements and Qigong movements could pretty much be categorized into the 5 elements, or they could be a combination of both. But as I say, when it comes to how many repetitions, it really comes down to yourself, how much time you've got, and what particular exercise you feel the need for. So for example, when we do our dragon to the east, when we've turned to your left, we've been doing the cycling up the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. So if you were being particularly fastidious, you could do 32 little cycles, which means 1, 2, that's 1. You see what I mean? That's a cycle. So you could start at the base of the spine and feel your way up each vertebrae in time. And at each vertebrae, you're doing a little anda. So that's 32 cycles, or if you count that as 2, 64 cycles to get you all the way up the spine. Though I tend to not really focus so much on counting, but rather just on feeling. So sometimes I go up a lot quicker than others with a lot less repetitions, but I'm feeling the energy being rolled between my hands and up the spine. So Master Locke has given another version of that exercise. You may remember back in the day we did this version, which looks, if you see from the front, it looks rather like reverse rolling clouds from his phoenix form. But in this version, he simply does 1, 2 at belly level, 1, 2 at chest level, and 1, 2 at head level. Sorry, I'm finishing with the backhand on top. And so that way you're engaging lower, middle, and upper levels of the spine. So it's a bit more quick, and then you can move on. So you can do either. You can be very fastidious and really take your time rolling up the spine, which I love, and I feel it's very useful for me, seeing as I fell and landed on my sacrum, on the base of my back. So I like to just feel my way very carefully and listen and release as I breathe and move. Sometimes I've noticed folks who have back issues tend to find the fastidious version a bit much. And I think that's partially because they're worried about hurting their back, and so they're holding tension. So I believe that that exercise would actually be brilliant for people with back issues, because I have back issues myself. I feel it's very helpful. But if you're going to do it, you have to remember, look, it's a tiny little movement left and right. It's very small, and it needs to be done with relaxation, that you're breathing and letting go. It's not about just doing these very precise, tiny little tiny little movements that may cause you to hold huge amounts of tension in order to try to do it. No, it has to be like the gentlest little rock, that there's hardly any effort involved in just rocking forwards and back, breathing and releasing and feeling into your spine. So if you can do it that way, softly and gently, brilliant, and it could really help with the sore back. If you're concerned, or if you just feel through experience that you haven't quite got that, and that it's uncomfortable, no problem, leave it. You can just do lower, middle, and upper, and then go into your next move. But feel free, folks, when you're practicing, you can go into a loop with any of these exercises. So for example, the tiger, you could do from left to right and right to left as much as you like. And the tiger exercise is all about calming the energy. It's for the conception channel. So it's calming the energy down. So if you're having a bit of a time of it and you just want to release and relax, you could just keep going with tiger. Any of these exercises is the same. You can do as much or as little as you like. Just make sure, try to cover all of them. Don't leave anything out. So if we go back to movement, what's that movement 2? You may notice that in the first instance, we did a lot of these. In the second instance, we did less. So you could do 3 in each direction, no problem, and then move on. I think 3 minimum is better to get the flow, and do 3. But can you see how this is a very adaptable form? It is designed to be like a buffet of movement that you can dip into and focus on whatever you need in more detail. And you can see how it ramps up in complexity with each level. So at each level, you can give it as much time as you feel the need for your memory to get to grips with it, or if it is just something that you need physically. Or you could just do the bare minimum of everything, and at least you've given your system a bit of a polish before you start your day. So it's incredibly versatile. I hope you have enjoyed your practice today, folks. Let's finish with a little warm down. And just listen to your body again. Go down to the legs, knees, lower legs, ankles and feet, and coming up the body again. Just checking everything's feeling okay. And patting is another way to just help get the energy flowing, reduce any cramps or fatigue in the system, shaking out. And we're going to do our 100 ailments go away by Bing Xiao. So we're going to lift the wrist, lift the hands in front, flop the wrists, and a little bounce. You can do the softer version, like a gel cushion under your heels, or you can thump your heels down gently, let the wrists wobble, and give that lymphatic system one last jolly good cleanse. Good, and relax down. Remember, 7 heel taps every day, 100 ailments go away. Let's stand, please, nice and tall, relaxing down, listening to those beautiful tingling sensations, all that lovely energy bubbling away. Good, let's scoop the hands up to cover center, hug your elbows in, and breathe and feel into your belly. Feel your energy is stronger. Beautiful, well done folks, relax down. Let's salute. I'm wishing you happy practice and welcome back, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, bye for now.